Hello and welcome to Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash with Top Service, where each episode we will give you tips on how to maximise your cash and minimise your debt in the construction industry. My name is Emma Reilly, Top Service CEO, and recently awarded the Credit Professional of the Year 2025 at the British Credit Awards. Thank you very much. In today's episode, we present a discussion between Laura Humphreys, our Head of Customer Development, and Stella Reilly, no relation, on her 20 years working at Top Service and the credit management tips and tricks she's picked up along the way. Please enjoy. Details on how to contact us will be at the end of the episode.
Hi, I'm Laura at Top Service and I'm here today with Stella, our Business Development Manager, and we're here because we're celebrating your 20 years of service.
Yes.
Congratulations, Stella, that is such a huge milestone.
Thank you.
And thank you from me and everybody else here for your dedication and your commitment and the service you provide not only for Top Service but their members. So take us back to when you first signed up to Top Service.
Gosh, okay. So I first saw the article in our local newspaper, and at the time I was in retail, but I was looking for sort of an office job in an office environment, and I saw the ad and obviously made the phone call. And at the time, Emma, our CEO now, she called and does like a bit of an informal chat. So we had an informal chat. I was invited for an interview, came to the interview, and I didn't know until I got here that there was tests involved.
Oh, okay.
So that all of a sudden made me really nervous because I didn't quite know what the tests were.
Yes.
But clearly I passed them because the next day I got the phone call to say I'd got the job.
Fabulous.
So yeah, and then that was the rest was sort of history.
Wow, I don't think there was a test when I had to join, so that was definitely something they decided to park.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, so what inspired you to join Top Service then, and what really has kept you here for 20 years?
So what's kept me here for 20 years, I guess, is the culture. Also, you're really supported. There's always been sort of, movement for growth in the business as well. When I started, there was around 12, 15 of us, so there wasn't many. So
small then.
So compared to sort of we've got 50 plus now.
Yeah.
It's really grown. But I think for me as well, also it's been a family environment. I've sort of grown up almost here. So, when I started 20 years ago, we a lot of us were really young. There was a lot of partying at weekends. Then we sort of all got a new house at the same sort of time, our first home. Then obviously marriage, then kids. So the company's always been very supportive with every sort of milestone that I've done and everybody else has done that's been here a long time.
Yeah.
So, sort of like maternity, they always just sort of stay in touch, making sure you're okay. So, and I think that's quite rare to find.
Definitely.
In most businesses, and especially as, Top Service grows, some companies might lose that touch, but Top Service don't.
Yeah.
So again, that's just another
reason to stay.
Another bonus to stay.
So looking back over the past 20 years, then what would you say is your biggest achievement?
I think seeing how Top Service has evolved as a company. There's been a lot of changes within the business from when I started, and just seeing the growth. Obviously for myself, adapting to new changes, challenges, and also contributing to the success of Top Service on something that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big thing to be proud of. There's been so many changes over the 20 years. You were almost from the very beginning where very much of it was still very much paper based. We were still printing out the publication, and now you've seen the changes of having it been emailed to members and things. So you've been through quite a lot of changes. So as you've grown personally and developed, so has the company.
Yeah.
And you've gone along with that, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Marvellous. What's one lesson you say that you've learned over the past 20 years in the industry that you think every business should know?
Wow, okay, so I think every business should be very proactive with their credit management, and that will sort of set you up for the success of a business, most definitely.
Yeah.
I think doing the due diligence when you're extending terms, trade accounts, most definitely you need to be making sure that you are checking your customers out, you are getting the appropriate information from them beforehand.
Yeah.
We see so many people that don't do the due diligence and then have problems. So, there's a lot of lessons to be learned.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's why I love the job that I do, because I'm educating people, onboarding new members, and just making sure that they've got everything that they need to maintain their cash flow.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really, really key an important tip there really is being that proactive and doing those pre-credit checks, because ultimately your goal is to maintain that regular cash flow and minimising your risks.
Absolutely.
So doing those bits at the beginning is exactly going to support every business,
absolutely.
Isn't it?
And also one of the biggest things I've learned as well, the companies that take the time to carry out the checks, and obviously we're here to make those more informed decisions, help make those more informed decisions for them, are the ones that thrive as a business.
Definitely, I've got to completely agree with you. So over the past 2 decades that you've been with us, you've obviously witnessed that some members tend to leave us to try other credit reference agencies, but they tend to always come back to us. Why do you think that is?
Purely, I think one of the key things is our insider information. Being able to get information sooner than our competitors, because we specialise within the construction industry. So it's having that insider knowledge, our customers. It's like a community for the construction sector to share information, which I think, I always say it's like gold dust. It really helps you to make those more informed decisions, because it's people in the same industry as you sharing their experiences. Are they being paid on time or not? So actually, if they come to me and approach me because they're on stop elsewhere, so I think they're, like I say, I can't stress it enough, it's having that extra information to help you make those more informed decisions. But also our customer service is just second to none. It's exceptional. And that's what we pride ourselves on as well. And we're not just a virtual based company, we're here to speak to. Which again, I think with the way things are changing, social media and what have you, and websites, a lot of it, you lose that touch.
You do.
And everything's done online. We're here to speak to, any help and advice, your credit control, debt recovery, anything like that. We have a lot of members that we speak to and we're chatting about, family life, and, they've been members for so many years. You build those relationships. So, again, I think that's really what sets us apart.
Definitely. I think now you're quite right with things changing out there, the implementation of AI being a huge thing at the moment. For what we do with the credit information side of things, nothing will ever replace that gut feeling.
Absolutely.
When you're listening to people talking about potential rumours of companies out there in the industry, and they speak to us about it, and then our member support team are there and they're like, I've just got that gut feeling. That will never be replaced by AI or anything. But nice, definitely. What's one of the most rewarding experiences that you've had while you've been here?
Okay, I think for me, as the company's grown, you know, from just a handful of people to now over 50. Watching my colleagues develop into different roles as well, seeing the company expand, and knowing that I've played a role in that, I find really fulfilling.
Yeah, definitely. But you have played a huge part in the company growth. You know, as a business development manager, your main role is to nurture new leads, build those relationships, you know, and entice them on board to sign up to our services, and you do it extremely well. You know, we've hit milestones with the sales targets because of the work that you do on that. And for a long time, believe it or not, considering the size of our company, you've very much done that on your own. So the drive of the business growth, almost in a way, you play such an independent, huge part of that. So how would you say then, over the years, how has your role evolved? And what's probably been one of the most exciting changes you've been a part of?
Wow, okay. So when I first started, like I say, there was only a handful of us. So we didn't just come in for one specific role.
Yeah.
We sort of done 1 week on our member support. We would do another week sort of debt collection. Yeah. We'd do another week then doing sort of account management, looking after our customers' accounts.
So almost alternated the roles.
So and then obviously as time's gone on, you know, we've got an actual sales department, we've got actual proper departments, whereas, you know, having only a handful of us, you know, we did multiple roles, whereas now we've got actual departments. To add on to that, I've done various courses, NVQ courses that have obviously helped me in my role. Having been involved with all the other departments at different stages of my 20 years, now being business development manager and onboarding new members and sort of educating them on our service, it's given me, you know, I know everything about Top Service and the services that we offer, and I can really sort of help, you know, potential new members with their credit control, how to put sort of processes in, especially if they're a new business as well. You know, just again about educating them and sort of solidifying our services into their processes.
I completely get that. I think in a way, because of all your experiences and your knowledge that you've built up, you've probably gone through and heard different stories from different members, or even when you were back in the day when you were speaking to debtors and you were hearing the different stories that they were coming out with, why they couldn't pay, or you know, the project that's gone under, you know, and why that has. When you're onboarding or speaking to these potential prospects, it helps you resonate because you can almost talk not only from a knowledge base, but almost from an experience base. Yeah. Well, actually, we had a member like that before. They faced a similar problem.
Exactly.
And that
this is how we overcome it. Yeah. And listening to their pain points as well. Yeah. So you can then, well, you know, sort of suggest how we can support and help them moving forward.
Yeah, and again, just going back to what you said earlier, that really strengthens that customer service because you're building that relationship. You're nurturing them. You're not there just to say, sign up today, this is what you need. Yeah. You're nurturing it. You're building the relationship from the very offset.
Absolutely.
And then when they move through the company to the account management team, that doesn't drop off at any point.
No, it doesn't. It
not
doesn't.
At all.
They've got it's a seamless service that we offer.
Definitely. Wow, that's fabulous. Stella, I've really enjoyed speaking to you and going back over the past 20 years with you. You really have had some exciting journeys and you do an absolutely incredible job. So thank you very much. But before you go, one last question. If you could sum up your past 20 years in one sentence, what would it be?
It's been a rewarding journey for me. Up to now, and growth, support, and just that sense of family. Yeah, you know, they're always on hand to help. You know, and like I said before, that's really rare to find in a company, and especially a growing company as well. Yeah, they just don't lose that support.
Brilliant. Fab. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, Emma here again. Thank you for listening. If there are any other questions, please do contact us on LinkedIn. Just search Top Service Limited. And also do check out a video version of this podcast on our YouTube channel. Once again, search for Top Service Limited. If we don't see you online, we will see you in the next episode where we will help you to maximise your cash and minimise your debt. Bye bye from Top Service.